Easy guys, Dom here from Cringy Dead Gaming. So tonight we're doing a live survival guide for DayZ. So for all of you beginners who are just getting into the game and finding it a little bit daunting, in this video hopefully I'm going to be able to give you a few tips to get you started. I've got around 600 hours in this game so far, so what you'll spawn in with is very little when you start the game. You've got some rags which you can use for healing yourself if you get injured. You've got a glow stick and a plum, or usually start with a piece of fruit. Notice down here in the right hand corner you've got a thirst meter, a hunger meter, a temperature meter, and you've also got a blood level and also a health level here down in the right hand corner, so you really want to keep an eye on those. You've also got a stamina meter over this side on the left as well. First thing you'll want to do usually is just eat that plum just to kind of keep you going, and also drag and drop the rags into a quick slot, which at the moment we're playing on PC. This will be different on console. I'm not sure what the controls are on console, so I do apologise, but you will be able to find those out by looking in the menu. Alright, so pressing on the left mouse button will use whatever you've got in your hand. Next thing we want to do is find food and water. This is really important. We're going to actually go along the coastline, so you'll always spawn pretty much on a coastline at some point on the map. Now, while we're talking about a map, there is no real map as such that's going to give you a location in this game. You can find a tourist map which will give you an idea of where locations are. It doesn't actually show you your location, however. But in the description of the video is a link which will take you to a map that's been put together by the community. By finding landmarks or, say, road or town or city signs to give you an idea of where you are on the map will help you navigate. You can also find a compass, which I would highly recommend trying to get early on as well, because that will give you an idea of the direction you're traveling in. Once you've played the game for long enough, you will be able to find your way around relatively easy, at least in the kind of spawn points, so you'll start remembering landmarks and things like that, which will help. You might be watching this back as part of an archived stream, so if you've got any questions, if you're new to the game and you want to know something, do ask in the comments. I will get back to you. This is, however, at the moment a live Q&A, so if anyone watching has got a question, pop that in the comments now and I will see that live. So what we're looking for along the coastline here is boats. Sometimes the boats will have food and drink items next to them. There's usually, I'd say, an 80% chance that they're going to give you food or drink items. We don't really want to head inland yet because we've got to deal with zombies and maybe other enemy players. We don't want to encounter them yet while we're trying to get that first and hunger meter up. So here's a couple of old boats, and here we go. We've got a Mad Monks, which is kind of like some form of energy drink, I'd say. It's like a root beer or ginger beer or something like that. We drink that straight away. That's going to take up our thirst and hunger meters now. Let's just check around this other boat. So a dry sack, we don't need that at the moment. What we could use is a bag to increase our inventory space, because at the moment our inventory is literally limited to 40 spaces, which is our hoodie that we're wearing and our jeans. We do want to try and find a backpack. Easiest way to find a backpack is to scout for zombies. Zombies will sometimes carry backpacks, so try and kill a zombie, take the backpack. It's sometimes the easiest way. But I'm just going to continue along the coast just a little bit anyway, just to see if we can find one more set of boats. Now, I was talking about coming across enemy players, and if you are playing on PC and you're curious to find how many players are in the server, you can actually press Shift and Tab at the same time, and then here you've got View Players. If you click on that, it will give you a list of people who are in the current server, and this one is relatively full, got a lot of players. So the reason why I chose this server is because I did want to show you some of the risks. We probably will come across the players. Most, I'd say 99% of players are hostile, and that's purely for the fact that when people first started playing this game, they'd try and be friendly and they'd be shot for no reason and then their stuff would be taken. Now you hear that little popping noise that you just heard there. That's actually a silenced weapon that's being used relatively nearby. So do listen out for the sounds in the game. It really is important. This noise that my feet is making now it's down in the left hand corner of the screen. You will actually see a noise kind of like image or icon, whatever you want to call it. That's the amount of noise I'm making at the moment. I'm being quite noisy. You can actually crouch down. Will actually make less noise. Although the different surfaces you run on also make a difference to the sound. The type of shoes you're wearing also makes a difference to the sound. So I would normally choose a pair of hiking boots or all-terrain shoes of some sort. Trainers or sneakers. Would not normally choose any of the combat boots that you come across, and I know they look cool, but they make a lot of noise. And in this game, if you're trying to be sneaky and stay unavoided, you will want to choose a pair of shoes that are going to make less noise. Things like work boots, quite heavy. Okay, we've got an IV star here. We don't need that right now. Got some more boats down here. Pressing down on the middle mouse button will allow you to zoom in a little bit, which will increase the distance you can see. Also quite helpful. You might have noticed a minute ago as well, it said I was wet. The clothes are wet and soaked, whatnot. That will sometimes cause your body temperature to go down, and it can cause you to lose health. Staying inside when it's raining or finding a rain coat and wellies will also help, but I won't worry too much about that. I'd normally just get inside out of the rain. Right, I think we've got enough drink in our body now to be able to start going in and scavenging. Yeah, it really wants to give me these IV starter kits, doesn't it? Right, I've got a petrol station over here, and just above there is a city. Looks like it might be Electro, maybe? This is the name of the village. Oh, it's Cherno down there. You can tell that's just the big building with the crash plane inside of it. There's a lot of PvP. A lot of PvP goes on in this area, so you really want to try and avoid early on these cities. I know it might be really appealing for you to maybe want to go in, but this is Cherno area. It's quite dangerous here. So we're near the airfield and the military camp here. Right, so what we're doing is we're taking the helmet. The helmet here will protect us from a little bit of impact if we're hit by anything, if we're shot at. A leather jacket is actually also quite good for ballistic damage as well. It will reduce the damage taken by bullets. Not a lot, but enough maybe sometimes to be able to get a lucky shot in. We are going to swap that over from what we had originally. However, what I am going to do is I am going to take the hoodie as well. The hoodie has got some items left in it. The reason why I'm going to take the hoodie is because we could always break that down into more rags. So if you've got a sharp bladed weapon, you can actually cut clothing up into rags, which you can use as makeshift bandages. Alright, so we've found a bottle here. This has got water in it. It'll be tempting to drink this. Don't, because you don't know how long the water's been here. You don't know what it is. It could have been water from a river. A lot of people find since they've updated the game recently that they've added a lot more of the medical system into this game. So what that means is you could drink that and you get ill, and that's because it's contaminated water. What we need to do is find chlorine tablets, and chlorine tablets you can find sometimes in hunting towers or hunting cabins, and sometimes in military areas as well. Sometimes you'll find the chlorine tablets. We want to find them. If you can't find chlorine tablets, you can boil the water, make yourself a campfire, find yourself a cooking pot, which you'll find in houses in certain areas, and boil the water to be able to make sure it's safe. Once I have the items required, like a blade, I will make a fire to show you guys that are new to the game how to make fire. At the moment we are taking a bit of a risk, and we are going down towards the airfield. This is not the northwest airfield that you might hear DayZ vets talk about, which is one of the big airfields, lots of weapons and ammunition and whatnot there. This is the airfield which is on the coast. Mr. Wolfmoon, hi, welcome to the stream. How are you? This is a little bit of a risk trying to do a live DayZ guide, but I thought I'd give it a whirl and see how it goes for those beginners out there, or people just wanted to pick up some general tips. Oh, thank you very much for your like, Mr. Wolfmoon. Very kind of you. So what I would also recommend, at the moment it won't let me do it because I've already got too many characters on the servers, but if you're starting off new, I would recommend starting on a server that allows third person view and first person view, because what you can do is switch from third person. So if I was to switch to third person now, I'd be able to see over the top of this barrier without people on the other side seeing me. It really does give you a better camera angle and an advantage to be able to scope out the terrain. It's saved my ass so many times where I've spotted enemies being ducked down. They've not been able to see me. Well, thank you very much for the sub, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Scavenging in this game is a real hit and miss. You sometimes find items, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you won't find items purely for the fact that other people have scavenged them before you. This here is a telltale sign that someone has been here and they've emptied ammo boxes. The reason why they've emptied the ammo boxes is for the ammo that you get inside them so they can load it into a gun. That is a sign that there is an enemy or enemies around here, but we're going to take that paper because we can use that to make the fire later on. We can also take a collared dress as well. There you go. It looks nice, doesn't it? What do you think? Looks nice, yeah? We could wear it, but we're not going to. Just showing you that you can pretty much wear anything of this. If you want to wear a dress, it's up to you. You're an Xbox player. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know what you're doing this crime face for, Mr. Wolfmoon. That's absolutely fine. I mean, this game is going to run and work pretty much exactly the same on Xbox, on PS4, and on PC. The only thing that's going to be different is the buttons, like I said. Why is it giving me more glow sticks? I need a blade. I need to find a kitchen knife or an axe or something so we can make a fire. But we're going to take a big risk. As a newbie player, we're going to have a look around this military airfield just to see if we can very quickly, sneakily find something. Right, a field vest. This won't offer any ballistic protection against the bullets, but it will give us 30 extra slots for carrying items, which is going to come in handy. An ATOG scope, which we can fit to an MP5 if we find one. We don't need to worry about that. Yes, falling will cause damage, depending on the height, but I took a risk there. The zombies over here. Now, zombies will actually go down pretty quick if you punch them early on. Pressing the right mouse button will allow you to block, but they will still hit through that. What you want to do is you want to move backwards when you're holding the right mouse button to be able to block. You will still take some damage, but just not as much. Smoke grenades, pretty useless really, but I tend to use them as a diversion more than anything else. So I've got a handgun. It is badly damaged, so equipment in this game will need to be repaired and you will need to maintain it throughout the game, so it will wear out over time. You can find weapon repair kits and also use duct tape to be able to repair these sorts of things, and that's just really pretty much part of the standard game. The same goes for shoes. Your shoes will wear down, and if they wear completely down you will start getting damage to your feet, which will cause blood loss and then death. So always keep an eye on your shoes. Chicken, yes, we can kill that and then cook it for food, but at the moment we don't have the right equipment. If I had a blade I could silently kill it. I'm not going to shoot it just purely for the fact that it will draw other enemies to our position. Now I know there's so much to take in and I might be going a little bit too quick, but it is one of those sorts of games. It's really fast paced. Right, so notice here this door's open on this shelter. That's a sign that enemies have been here. Who knows how long ago? No one knows. We've got an MP5 here. Okay, let's switch over to the MP5. So what we can start doing is we can start dragging weapons into our quick slots down here at the bottom, which means then what I can do is, using my keyboard keys, I can very quickly swap between these weapons just by pressing the number on the keyboard that corresponds to them. That's pretty much the same with most PC games. Most weapons will be damaged when you find them. Usually the weapons that aren't really damaged a lot are weapons like the Mosin, which is like an old World War II rifle. They're usually pretty fresh if you find them, unless someone's dumped one. Yeah, this has been rinsed in here. Right, we've got some 9mm rounds. What we're going to do is we're going to let me duck down and hide down in between there. So what we're going to do is we're very quickly actually going to reload this MP5. DayZ, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. So we're going to unbox the 9mm we've just found. You just unbox them by holding them in your hand and then pressing the left mouse button. I'll always take the paper just purely for the fact that I don't want to give my position away if anyone else is kind of following my footsteps. Now we can reload the magazine until it's full. I reloaded the magazine literally by holding the magazine in my hand and then dragging the rounds across. Sometimes you have to do it a certain way. If I'd had the rounds in my hand first and then drag the magazine across to my hand, it doesn't work. So sometimes if things that should combine don't seem to want to combine in this game, it could be because you need to do it the other way around. So always think about doing it the other way around before. Notice here it won't allow me to do it the other way, so we need to swap. Right, now we've got a full mag in the MP5. So notice how here we've got the badly damaged FX45. We've just picked up a worn one, which is better. So what we're going to do, we're going to unload the magazine from this. Double press R on the keyboard to unchamber the round, so we're not losing a round. We can dump that. Did we pick up any 45s? We've only got one. So what we're going to do is we're going to load that back into the magazine. And then load that into the better FX45. You can also combine certain ammo types as well. What we're going to do now is we're going to pop that ATOG scope onto the top of the MP5. Now some sights won't work with certain weapons, so just bear that in mind. This has a different type of scope you can use by rolling the mouse button forward and backwards, and you can also increase your notice down where it's on the left hand side where it says full auto, you can actually change the range by pressing the plus or minus buttons to be able to increase the range. Very important for zeroing your sniper scopes if you do get a sniper rifle. Also X on the keyboard will allow you to change from full auto to semi-auto. Again, quite important. JR, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in DayZ. DayZ, yeah, I've not been around for a while, but been a little bit under the weather, so to speak. So, you know, that's why. But we're getting there, mate. We're getting there. Right, so now this is the real hot spot now over here. It's the main tents in this area. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little peek around, see if we can spot any bad guys. When I say bad guys, just other online players that just generally want to kill us. Take note, there's gunfire coming from across there, so we want to avoid that early on in the game, most definitely. There's nothing more frustrating than only just starting in the game and then getting killed To be honest with you, for most new people, I wouldn't normally recommend coming into this area early on in the game. I would just try and stay around the outskirts of the map, the villages first, get yourself stocked up a little bit, and then, because really we should be finding food and drink at this point, although we could find some tactical bacon. I'll make you bacon, tactical bacon. It is actually in a tin, and it is actually called tactical bacon, so it fills you up quite a lot. Always scope out the area a little bit before you move in, just to see if there's any movement. You will know the difference between a zombie and a human enemy, because human enemies will move quite erratically in their movement, where the zombies, they just kind of shuffle along. There could be someone hiding around here waiting for people, because these, like I said, these are kind of like hot spots where people come to try and find weapons and ammo. The fact that there's not really much in here means that someone's probably been around here. Flashbang, we'll take that. Is there a magazine in this? No. So, might be a little bit cruel of me, but what I would normally do with stuff like this, this is risky because we want to be in and out of here as quickly as possible, but I will actually remove parts from weapons I find that I don't want and then throw them, just purely for the fact that if another enemy comes past here quite soon and they don't have a weapon, they're not going to be able to pick up that weapon now and then kill me with it if they catch up with me. Just a tactic that I tend to use. There's quite a few people out there that go, boo to that, boo, that's not very good. Well, yeah, you're going to kill me with it. Right, combat pants. We're going to swap over to the combat pants because they will have a larger amount of room in them. If we've got a field vest on, we can actually put these flashbangs and smoke grenades onto them, so we're not using any of the inventory space from them. You can actually double click on these, which will fast load them into somewhere, but they won't always put them where you want them, so I normally tend to drag and drop. Again, we're going to keep the jeans because they could come in handy if we need to swap over to them. Okay, we've got another Effects 5 mag for a handgun, which we do actually need to very quickly put in a quick slot. Put the flashbang in a quick slot as well, and the smoke grenade just in case. Alright, we've got another tent that we need to check out. For those of you who do want to use your microphone in this game and you want to speak to people, you can actually press down on caps lock button to be able to bring up the microphone. It does bring a microphone symbol up on the screen. Double tapping it will leave it open. Just pressing it once and letting go will open it and close it. We're not doing that though because we will give our position away by using that. Alright. There is one more tower over here, and then there was a little group of houses just behind here, so we're going to move up to them, see if we can find any food and water. We need to find a zombie with a backpack, or we need to find a backpack in general so we can increase our inventory space. Another magazine for the handgun, we'll take that. Now, I could take the boots, but they are very noisy, and I tend to find that at the moment, because the athletic shoes I've got on are pristine still, we're going to keep them because they make less noise. So it means we can move around and sneak without making as much noise. The boots look cool, and in a pinch I would probably take them if my shoes were worn and I had nothing to fix them with, but in this instance I'm not going to risk it. So just fast exited from that. Took a little bit of damage from it, but we want to get out quick. In and out as quick as you can. That's my motto. So you might come across a group of zombies and you might want to just like literally just shoot them like any other zombie game. Oh, we've got some shooting us. I wouldn't recommend shooting zombies. You're going to give your position away. Also waste ammo. So I don't know if this guy's giving us warning shots or if he's like trying to kill us. 1 or 2 rounds would probably kill us because we've got no armor. See, the thing is, he might not have been shooting at us. The thing is, you can't really always gauge the distance between shots. If he's hiding in the bushes, you're not going to be able to see him. Another thing is, you know, zombies are not running towards this position. He could have a suppressor. Let's risk it. We've only just started out anyway, so yeah, there he is. Well, he started shooting, so he could be hostile. Just going to sit and wait and listen. Don't know if he saw where we went. He might have done. Now this in this game is where your heart really starts pumping. This is what I love about DayZ. Zombie heard that. Is he shooting zombies? If he is, he's going to draw them all to him. This zombie's going to get me. Let's see, zombie saw me. Okay, zombies trapped me. Okay, so we just lost a load of blood now. He's going to hear us healing. And we've not got no alcoholic tincture to be able to stabilise the bandages. This means we're now probably likely to get an infection. This guy's definitely hostile. He's trying to bait these zombies to get me. Exactly what he's doing. Hey mate, if you're trying to kill me, I'm pretty much a fresh spawn, dude. I ain't got nothing on me. So what we're doing is we're gonna see if he takes that. I'm gonna die first at this point though. So we know he's in there. He's in that building down here. He looked like he had some kit on him. So he's probably hiding in a corner at the moment. That's what we got. The sound of a zombie running and the sound of a player running is quite different. Alright, let's go for it, eh? At the end of the day, it is what it is. This is DayZ. If we die, we die. I'm trying to bait him out. I'm trying to see if he's going to come out. He ain't. He might have already ran. He might have already legged it while I was trying to kill that zombie. Yeah, he got me. Managed to get me. He had moved. But I didn't know he was in there. I thought he was in the other building. So we have to start fresh now. But you get a good idea of how the game works. I could have hit him enough with that set of bullets to be able to kill him. So he could also die. I could have injured him so bad. Those zombies are now going to run in there that were left. He could die. So either way, let's respawn. This is what I love about this game. Once we've got some better kit, you're able to sometimes get a little bit further in the game. Alright, okay. Where's it spawned us? It spawned us right near a train car. I know we've got the coast just behind us. I'm just going to have a quick look. Actually, we don't need to worry about finding anything to drink right now, because there is actually a fountain. Oh, that gun's shit. It's a one-shot rifle. We'll take it for now, just purely for the fact that it's better than nothing. Check the train cars. Sometimes you can find something good in them. Teddy bears. Teddy bears sometimes have cloth in them. Rags. Yeah. Pristine rags. Shit. Handy if we bleed. You can also bury teddy bears. So if you want to put something inside it and bury it with a shovel to hide stuff, you can also bury them. I'd recommend making crates, which to make crates, to be able to store stuff in and bury them, you'd need to find nails and some planks of wood, which you can make from either cutting down trees and then sawing up the log, or you can actually go to a building site that has piles of planks and then you can chop them up. So here's a cooking pan. I was talking to you earlier about that. You can store stuff in it, you can cook in it, you can boil water. We're not going to bother taking that though, because it's just taking up space. And yeah, I love me a pair of hiking boots. Now hiking boots are actually my favourite set of footwear in this game. One, because they don't make as much noise as military boots. Two, because they really do wear quite well, so they will stay in decent condition for a lot longer than a lot of other types of footwear. Now if you rewind back the video from when actually I got killed, I think in my mind's eye that guy that was in that corner, he had a stab vest on, I think, which is like a military type, well not military, but the police wear them in this game. That does actually reduce the bullet damage as well, so that could also be the reason why I died before he did. Although I did spray from the hip because I wasn't expecting him to be in there. He caught me by surprise. But he would have heard me running, so he would have been ready for me. There's a house over there. There's apple trees around that house, so we might be able to find some apples on the floor. Oh, here we go. Got a couple of guys.
Hey, dude, hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up.
Hey, hello.
Hands up. Press this point.
Yeah, give me a second. Give me a second. I've just I've just spawned in. I'm brand new. I literally just spawned.
Oh, okay.
If I had something to give you, I'd give you it. Did you want the rifle? Oh, okay. There you go. Welcome to DayZ. So in that instance, we didn't lose much. There's three guys together. They're friends. Even if I was kitted out, I'd struggle to probably take all them out unless I was in a decent position. The reason why they shot me, I think, is because I had a gun on my back. But there you go. Where's it spawned me this time? Right, I'm hoping we'll be able to get a little bit of a better start, so I'm able to show you a few more survival skills in this for the new starters. You've got an idea, seeing so far, if you're new to the game, what to expect. It is pretty brutal. This is what I love about DayZ. It's been one of the most... Oh, we've got a new guy here. Hello. How are you? You alright? I've just spawned in, so I've got nothing good. I'm not gonna try and kill you or anything. Oh, you're gonna fight me, do you? Okay. Well, that's not fair. Oh, I ain't got no weapons. If you want to fight me with your fists, that's fine. If you want to try and fight me with your fists, that's fine. Let's go. But I mean, nah, that's cheating, dude. I got no melee weapons. Fists only, yeah. All right, fair enough. So that guy had headgear on and he had a melee weapon and he's gonna kill you, isn't he? You're gonna revive me, man. Come on, revive me. Be a decent fella. He strained me. It's tied me up. So basically what this guy wants to do now is going to try and make me drink fuel or something. I think I might need a plaster. I'm going to bleed out, dude. I've literally got 6... yeah, I've got 6 cuts, 5 now. I don't know if you're going to have enough bandages to be able to stop me from dying. Probably not. I'm literally about to bleed out. Oh, he's healing me. 3 left. No, I'm going to bleed out, mate. There's still 2 more cuts on me. Well, thanks for trying at least. After he caved my head in with a pickaxe. So there you go. So we've proven that you can't in this game. You cannot really barter with people. You might find a few people that are friendly, but it's yeah, it's very, very slim. So you best off just hiding. Does it spawn me this time? Oh yeah, up near the old big ship. I love this area. It's really, really cool. There's not really a lot to be found on that ship. I've gone up there. The amount of time it takes you to climb up there and look around. Sometimes you can find a couple of decent items on there. I'm not going to waste time doing it this time around. All we want to do is have a look around some of these boats again on the shore before we move inland. I'll look at these containers quick. Where was the metal pipe when we needed it a minute ago, you know? Although still, coming up against someone with a stab vest on and a hockey helmet, he was always going to be able to take more damage than me. And that's another thing. Picking your fights. If you see an enemy that looks like they've got a lot of gear, then sometimes it's best off avoiding them, unless you've got a decent weapon and you can maybe sneak up on them and maybe get a couple of shots at a distance. But I'd never go toe to toe with someone who's got better equipment like I just did then. It was more just to see what he was going to do. Sometimes you get a lucky shot in, but... Right, rope. So with the rope you can make an awful lot of things. One of the main things people use the rope for really is making fence kits, which allows you to kind of make fences or make a little bit of a base. I don't really bother with that anymore because it's so easy people just to raid your bases. There's no point, so I don't bother with it anymore. The next thing you want to do with it though is if you kill, say, a wild boar, or you find a burlap sack, which is kind of like a creamy coloured kind of sack, you can actually create a bag with it using some sticks, which is quite handy. If we get a blade and find a burlap sack, then we'll actually make a rucksack. I'll show you how to make one. They're actually quite low profile as well, so they're actually quite good if you want to stay hidden. The blade in this game is really important. It's actually the next thing that I'd probably look for after get food and drink. Combat knives are the best, hunting knives are the next best. but anything like a kitchen knife or a steak knife or anything like that would usually do. What's that? Canned tuna, here we go. So let's have that now. Canned tuna is actually really good. It takes up limited space in your inventory, but it's actually really nutritious. That'll fill up my health gauge quite a decent amount. Never run after eating because it'll give you indigestion. No, not really. Not indigestion, not in this game. But it does actually decrease your food and drink meter rapidly when you run. So while it's got the arrows above it and it's filling them up, we don't really want to be running because we're going to shorten the time that it's actually going to be giving us nutrition. He says, and starts running. That's a bad habit. Right, let's start moving inland. That tin of tuna should keep us going for a little while. Notice the length of time that's given us sustenance. Those arrows for the food and drink are still there. Some foods, they will kind of run out quicker, so to speak. So tin food is usually pretty good. Tin spaghetti, tin beans, peaches, tuna, that sort of thing, really good. And obviously not forget the tactical bacon. That's really good too. You can find wild mushrooms. Just make sure that when you look at the mushroom, they have a green dot next to them. That means that they are pristine. Don't eat them if they are orange or worse than that. You can see moldy mushrooms anyway, but you won't trip in this game if you eat mushrooms, but you will get ill. It's not good. Okay, we've just ran around in a circle almost, so at least we know which direction we're going in now. So anyway, let's talk about once you've got a little bit of equipment and you're feeling pretty confident, then you want to go inland to be able to find better stuff, but also more risks. You will come across some of these trails, which are kind of like walking trails, often marked by markings painted on the trees. These will lead you somewhere, so if you are a little bit lost, follow these. They will usually take you to a village or some place where sometimes you'll come across these little benches with a map on a board to kind of show you whereabouts you are, so you've got an idea of where you are. Roads as well, follow roads. You can follow train lines as well. So there's a road up here, I'd rather follow the road. Roads will always take you to some form of civilization. Press spacebar to mantle or jump. Should have mentioned that earlier. If you are stuck with what the controls do, though, I do usually say that it is really easy just to go into your options, go to controls, and then here where it says keyboard, configure key bindings. If you click on that, it will show you then all the buttons and what they do. That's really handy to kind of get your heads around those before you kind of get into the core of the game. That's what I'd recommend. I probably should have said that earlier on, guys. I'm sorry, but so much to cover, and with it being live and non-scripted, looks like the sun might be going down soon. That's not good for a fresh spawn. Moving around in the dark is difficult, although they have improved how much you can see now when it's dark. It used to be pretty much like as black as what you'd expect space to be. Now, yes, I have got a glow stick. Glow sticks are what I would recommend using if you don't have night vision, because they are low light. They won't give off your position too much until people get really close to you. Try and avoid using torches that you can make out of a stick and rags. That'll brighten up the area you're in so much that it's just, you might as well be painting a target on you. And torches are the same. If you can find a head torch that has the red lens in it, then that's better, because red light is not seen as far away as white light by the human eye. The same in this game, so people will struggle to see the red lenses on those head torches unless they're really close, but you will need to find a 9-volt battery to be able to use them. So night vision is the best. You usually find them in military areas, but usually more inland, so you'd have to get to some of the harder to find military camps to be able to find night vision. And then if you find a night vision set of night vision goggles, you will also need to either find a night vision head strap or a helmet that you can attach it to. So some of the ballistic helmets will have a night vision attachment on it, which is pretty cool. That's what I'd normally go for. It means you ain't got to worry about taking up inventory space with the night vision goggles. Alright, so let's have a look around here then. At this point, from now on, we're going to take every person we come across as being hostile. It's the only way really to survive in this game. Never trust anyone. This is rule number 1. Hopefully I've taught you guys that early on. You can't ever trust anyone. Even if you're unarmed, even if you've got nothing worth taking, they will kill you. I mean, they could be cannibals. You can eat human flesh in this. So they might have wanted the food. They might have wanted the human meat. Apparently we taste like bacon. Not the tactical bacon, but... What's that tracksuit? Capri trousers. I'd always recommend checking items of clothing. If you see that little plus sign that you just saw on it there, that means there's something inside it. That was a punch repair kit for a vehicle. We don't want to get into vehicles now. That's advanced stuff. I will say though very quickly though that if you do find a vehicle, you can repair it by finding the items required to run it. You will need to find a radiator, fill it with water. You will need to find fuel, spark plug, tyres, etc, etc. And the time it takes to put a vehicle together, and the fact there's not really anywhere decent to hide them, unless you get a car tent, then yeah, you're likely to lose it. It's likely to be found or stolen or planted in an empty cell. Yeah, there you go. There's a wheel for a particular vehicle. The wheels have to match the vehicle type as well. But again, just a quick overview of it if you're new to the game, give you an idea. I'd say an empty serve would probably be best. There's a spark plug as well. Certain items will be found in certain places. That's something else that's quite important. So houses, you will find usually food items, clothing items, that sort of thing, sometimes weapons. Places like this, which is kind of like workshops and stuff like that, or sheds, you will find things mechanical. Sheds, you will find things like spades, axes, tire irons, batteries, that sort of thing. So items you will find in them will kind of link to what in the real world you would usually keep in them to a certain extent. The fact that all these doors are open here means someone's been through here recently. Yeah, we're still going to risk it. It's getting a little bit dark. Right, this is a little kind of like security building. People love to hide in the toilets here. But you can peek through this window and sometimes get an idea if someone's sat in there. You can also jump here. Sometimes see someone's head if they're standing up. That's no one in there. The fact that there's nothing there in the lockers or on the table means that whoever's come through here has come through here relatively recently, but we just found a pistol suppressor and don't need the jerry can. That's not a place for a jerry can. I think someone swapped that jerry can for whatever was on that table, maybe. No. Right, you can sneak past zombies if you are stealthy enough. Jumpsuit pants. Nah, don't need them. Yeah, so if you are ever thinking about putting a car together and you are thinking about repairing it, that's what I want, 9-volt battery, then garages that we're looking in now, that's a zombie. Don't know how I got up on the roof. That's a bug, I think. Garages are a really good place to start. I think, someone just hit me. Okay, here's another survival tip. If you're in this sort of area and there's zombies and they see you, don't try and fight them unless you need what they've got on them. Just run into somewhere like this, dodge them, and then press the door. Now he's locked inside, he ain't going to be able to get you. It's the easiest way to dispatch zombies with minimal effort, and I use that tactic quite a lot in this game, including in the houses as well. If they was to scratch you and you can bleed out if you've got nothing really to kind of bandage yourself up with. Killing zombies though sometimes has its tactical advantages though. We'll take the nails. Because sometimes they do have items on them like food. Next zombie we see we're going to try and kill. But not him, it's stuck up on the roof. Also, if you hear zombies in an area that you're near making this sort of noise, it means there may be also an online player nearby that's annoyed them. So it can aggravate zombies. The fact that that's closed is a little bit odd. This guy's on the roof might have got trapped in here by someone else who might have done the same as what I've just done, and then he's just literally bugged himself up onto the roof, which sometimes they do. Tip for you guys, if it is a little bit dark, you can actually just brighten the brightness up in the actual game itself. Will actually help see in the dark a little bit. It's relatively temperamental and it can hurt your eyes, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend it unless you really are desperate. I'm not going to take the work boots, they're too noisy. Is that something? Sometimes cars, broken down cars, sometimes have items on top of them and inside them, so sometimes it's good to check them too. It's getting a little bit too dark for me to explore now, really. What I'm going to do is have another look through some of these train cars here, because these are fresh. And we really need to find some water. Okay, the fact we're struggling to see now means we're going to have to use... the glow stick. Snap it just by pressing the left mouse button once you've got it in your hand. Can't see anything in there. Don't need a hard hat. There's usually only one item in the train cars, usually. What is that? Is that a fireman's jacket? No. Looked almost like the same colour as a fireman's jacket. Oh, we'll have that though. Hiking backpack. It's got 80 spaces in it. That's pretty decent. We had to hold quite a bit of stuff, but the heavier you get, the more stamina you'll lose, so try not to overdo it. Sometimes people with night vision will come down from the northern area to kill fresh spawns like me in the hope that they can get some easy materials. A lot of the vets of this game have got relatively lazy and can't be bothered to scavenge themselves to find stuff anymore. So what they'll do is they'll just camp in bushes in the coastal areas where the fresh spawns come in, wait for them to kind of run past, kill them, and see if they've got any decent stuff in their backpacks. So just be aware of that, guys. So really at night, unless you've got night vision yourself, I would recommend maybe steering clear of being outside at night. If you've got a big backpack like this, you can hide your weapons in them, so it doesn't look that you're so as hostile, maybe, as what some people could take you as. Come on then, zombie. At this point, we're going to be dying of dehydration soon if we're not careful. I really do need to find some water, and quick. This here is a police station. Quite dangerous area. A lot of people will come into a police station to try and get weapons. Sometimes you can find a scorpion, submachine gun, Glock, pistols, that sort of thing. Smoke grenades, as you see there. Really shouldn't be doing this with how dehydrated we are. But I will take the officer's pants purely for the fact that they will actually offer you a little bit more protection than... No, actually jeans are quite good. Jeans will offer you some decent protection, but some of the military stuff will give you a little bit more protection. We're taking a massive risk here. Yeah, the fact there's hiking pants up here means someone else has been up here recently and swapped their hiking pants. That'll be a fresh spawn. Right, so now we're dehydrated, our health has started going down. Notice in the right hand corner now that there's a little arrow below our health. That means our health is going to start deteriorating over time. Yeah, there's nothing up here, we've wasted our time. However, the chances of getting a weapon to be able to defend ourselves is still relatively important. This jacket has way more room in it than the hoodie. However, it's damaged. Has to be a water source or something to drink around here somewhere. Trail shoes are better than what we've got on. Yeah, look, our health is depleted. This is life or death now. Whoever's been through it before us has rinsed this place out. We're going to be in trouble. Come on, zombie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take this zombie out just purely for the fact that I have a feeling that she could, not necessarily, but she could have some food or drink on her. No, that one didn't.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh shit! I thought this is my friend.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna hurt you. I've got literally nothing on me. I'm nearly dead. I've got to go and find some water. So I've got to try and get away from these zombies. So I'll leave you to it, man.
Okay.
Take care.
You don't need to, you know. My two friends are in the fire.
Let me try and get rid of this zombie. I need to run. I'm literally about to die. I've got to try and find something. So, see you later.
Maybe I can help you. Maybe I can help you, man. I have medicine, you know?
Oh, that's very kind of you. I just need something to drink. I'm dehydrated. I'm nearly dead.
I will show you the...
Is there water nearby?
Okay. How
Oh, cheers.
Okay.
Oh yeah, look, here's
Do
your
you
friends.
see that? Do you see that people? Yeah.
Yeah. We're taking a risk here, guys, because these could kill us.
You see, man? You are alive.
Hello. Ah, thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Hello. Thank you very much for bringing me to the water. I'm so thirsty. Thank you. Thanks for your help.
No problem.
I don't have anything to give you, really. Do you need anything? I've got, well, stuff I've got's a bit of junk. I've got some 9mm bullets. I've got a 9-volt battery, if any of you want that.
I need to cook meat only.
I've got nothing to help you with that, I'm afraid.
Chicken. We'll probably need make fireplace.
I hear you, yeah. I haven't even got a bladed weapon to be able to cut anything with. Sorry, but thanks for the help with the water anyway. I really appreciate that.
Okay, okay.
See you later.
Like you want, man.
So when you do finally get to water, try not to drink too much because it will make you sick. These guys are literally filling a jerry can up with it to take the water with them. So now we've had some water, we should start healing now. But what I am going to do is I am going to move because these guys could be planning to kill me. You just don't know. Ah, they've locked zombies in here. Alright. We've got enough water, let's move. Let's go. Let's... Toxic, welcome to the stream. How you doing? I think these three guys might have pretty much been through here and rinsed this place out, so we might not just want to hang around here because they've probably taken it all. We might want to try and move on. We were lucky that that small percentage of people there were relatively helpful because with 3 of them they could have quite easily have killed us, took our stuff. They had no idea that we had a rifle, although we got no bullets for it at the moment. But try and get rid of this zombie. It's the only problem with the dark as well, you don't always see the zombies. If you aim for the face of a zombie, you can sometimes take them out quite quickly by punching them. I'd usually say... Oh, here we go, I've got another one. I'd usually say though using a pair of knuckle dusters or a bladed weapon is usually quite good. He could take his welding mask, we're not going to. Whenever you enter a bigger building like this, you want to look around, always close all the doors so no one can sneak in behind you without making a noise of the door opening. Or no zombies can sneak in behind you. We'll have the balaclava, that'll give us a bit of warmth. There's nothing in here. I think pretty much those guys that have just been through have cleared this out. It's hard to see where we are in the dark. Residential houses are always good. Let's look around these. Matches, good. That means we'll be able to craft the fire all we need is a blade. If we find a blade, we can kill some of these chickens we keep coming across and actually cook ourselves something to eat, which you're going to need to do really soon. So we could probably kill the chickens with the screwdriver we got, but without a blade we're not able to fillet it. So we need a machete or a kitchen knife or something. Nah, those guys have cleared this place out. This is pretty much futile at this point, searching this area. Here's the fire station. So I'd just like to say really quickly, because this is a live survival guide for DayZ, the chat within the game itself is going to be game relevant only. So if there's anything in the chat that's off topic of the game, unfortunately I won't be going through that in this particular video. Just for any of you who may be commenting and wondering why I'm not replying, that's why. Right, so sometimes you can find some decent stuff in here. We could find firefighter's axe, which is a pretty good melee weapon. We could also find fireman's helmet or fireman's jacket, which again is relatively good protective clothing. At this point we're just trying to make sure we're secure in the lower floor. Again, by the looks of it, those guys I think rinsed this area completely. Stuff will spawn back in once you've been away from the area for a certain amount of time and you're at a certain distance. But there's nothing in there. We'll take the shovel. We can put two weapons on our back, as you can see here. At the moment we've got a melee weapon and a shovel. The shovel will take because if we find any stashes, which are like little mounds of dirt where people are hidden stuff, we can dig them up. Now the chances of that happening at the moment are very slim, but I'd always say that if you've got a chance to pick up a shovel and you've got room for it, just take it just in case. Have a look in some of these sheds. A blade, yeah, there we go, we've got a machete, that's what we want. Get rid of the screwdriver now. I can get rid of the old pipe, we don't need that anymore. Right, there was a chicken over here somewhere, weren't there? Listen out for that chicken. Oh. This is a very important building. This is a medical centre. There will be bandages, codeine pills for pain relief, and also, most importantly, antibiotics. The chances of anything being left, though, because those guys have been in there, is very slim. Again, it's really important that you try and loot places before anyone else has been there. I can remember I was nearly dying of food poisoning, and I managed to get to a third town that luckily enough no one had looted, and I managed to get the antibiotics in time before I died. Antibiotics are most usually on this table here. I'd check everything Oh, no, there's no goodies left here. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let the zombies in here. They're chasing us. Rags. I don't need any more rags. Come on, Doctor. Doctor's in the house. Actually find zombies die a little bit easier by punching them than rather than using a machete. Don't know why. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's just me. These are apple trees, so it's always good to just look on the floor in case there's any apples that fell off. Exploring at night is not the one. It's really hard to get your bearings. I have no idea where I am at this point. Okay, I wonder if those guys looked in these houses round the back. On the edges. Nope. The fact that these doors are all open means they're dry. People have searched them already. The fact that my health hasn't completely recovered yet from having a drink means that once my dehydration level goes down any further, the health is going to start going down really quick again. This is how brutal this game can be sometimes. What is that? Handsaw. I'm going to take that. If I press the right button. You press escape too many times, it goes to the pause screen. Yeah, this is dry. Now this is the joys of playing in a high pop server. If you want to find more stuff and you want to get yourself like a little stock together, then you'd recommend playing on a lower population server. But I think it is more fun playing on a high population server. It's definitely more challenging, as you can see. But for a beginner, I would most definitely recommend starting on a low pop server. I think the fact that I've made it harder for myself actually helps give you guys an idea of what to expect and kind of manage your expectations that way. See, because I'm in the dark here, I'm literally searching buildings that I've already searched. We're going to try and move out of here. I'm listening for a chicken. So which town was this? Bepenho, yeah, I know where that is. Ideally we want to be going along the coast, and we want to be going along the coast in a westerly direction. Although we did know that there was a gang of not so very nice people in the next village along, one or two villages along, who killed me for no reason. So again, we want to be careful moving along the coast. As dry as a bone. Keep an ear out for that chicken. There's some more buildings up here. So some games will have, depending on the server, longer night and day cycles. You can choose ones that have faster night and day cycles. This one I think is on about ×6, so it's 6 times faster than what it would normally be if it was its default settings. That's a long old dark night if you've not got one on a increased night cycle in terms of its speed. 9mm rounds, we'll take them, even though we've got no weapon for those bullets. No, we don't need a gas canister. So the gas canister, you can find yourself a gas cooker. So the head and the gas to be able to cook on, which is quite handy sometimes, although it does take a lot of pack space up. You can also get a lamp as well, so you get the lamp variant of it. Again, I wouldn't recommend using that, it'd give you position away. Right, so what we're doing is we're moving along the coast, but we're going to be moving along from quite a distance, as you can see. Well, if you can see, it's very dark. I wonder which direction those other guys moved in. There was 3 of them, and 3 guys searching through these buildings means they are going to pick it dry. We need to either try and get ahead of them, the direction they're moving in, or go in a different direction, so we're coming across totally different areas that they've not discovered yet. It's a big old map. I don't think we really need sunglasses right now. Right, okay. Just found some rice. Have that. And that's really odd that it actually raises your thirst meter, even though it's dry food, but any food will raise both the hunger and thirst meter, just not as much as some of the others. So that might just... Oh, we just lost health. I might just slow death down a little bit. It's going to have gasoline in it. Yeah. I don't want to drink gasoline. So I'm hoping these houses down here somewhere have got something to drink. I don't know if I've got enough stamina. I don't know if you can climb these fences. Yeah, you can. Just gotta have enough stamina. I think we're in big trouble here. There's an apple, but it's off. Oh great. Didn't want that to happen. That's just reduced our health even further, just getting a couple of swipes from a zombie there. Now we're in big trouble. I'm not going to be able to run properly now. Oh, here we go. We just found a stream. Okay, so at this point I'm about to die. My health is flashing. We're going to have to take a tactical decision. We're going to have to drink from the stream. This is likely to give us some form of bug, but we're going to worry about that later. Let's just get our first meter up. I could die before this has had any effect on me. The fact that it's flashing means we're literally just about to die. If I drink too much more, I'm going to be sick. So we're just going to have to wait for a second. Okay, so my health is slowly going up now. It takes ages in this game to heal. A little bit of a break and drink a bit more. Right, now our first meter is pretty much all the way up. Our health should start coming back. You just got to be careful. If we get hit one more time by a zombie, like literally one swipe, we're dead. There you go, look. Notice that little infection symbol that just popped up? That's going to make us sick. Yeah, drank too much pond water. No choice. So now we've got a whole new battle on our hands to find antibiotics now. Now we'll be sick now over a period of time, and it will empty our stomach, so that water will just literally disappear. So we're going to have to find something to store water in. And you have to take small sips. That will also mean that when we try and eat now, we'll also be sick, unless we take small bites of food. I was being sick out the motorbike helmet. Yeah. Small sips. We might be in a loop of a never-ending battle here. We might just have to admit defeat and die, but I'm going to at least try and survive. All we need to do is get that health meter up. If we can get that health meter up, we can try and move on. And hopefully by the time we've done that, we might get a bit of daylight, which is really going to help. So once the arrows above the thirst meter disappear, we'll be able to take a little bit more of a sip of this water, and as long as we just... Oh, it looks like we're going to time out anyway. Sometimes the server disconnects. Yeah, connection to the host has been lost. So the host disconnected. It will save our progress though, usually. Oh, it says their players killed one. So that guy we were shooting at, he must have died from his injuries then. Well, that's good to know. So this game becomes much easier once you've established yourself a little bit more. So once we've got some supplies, we've got some weapons, we've got some medicine, it makes it a lot easier. It's just right at the start of the game, it can be a little bit brutal sometimes, depending on how lucky you are and how skilled you are. And this is why a lot of new players can really be put off by the game, because they haven't got enough time to be able to figure it all out. So hopefully this guide is going to help some of you new players. We'll see. I hope when we spawn in we're still alive. Yeah, don't be fooled by the bottom right hand corner, that's going to change any second. Well, I don't know, it may have just refilled our health. Nah, there you go. I was waiting for that to happen. Yeah, we're back where we were. All we need is for that first meter just to go up a little bit. If we can get that up to the where it's white, not yellow, without being sick, and then hopefully our health meter will go up a bit. We have lost our... oh no, we haven't. Here it is up here. Let's put our glow stick in our bag so we're not giving our position away. What we want to do now is lie down for a little while. I'm just going to lay here for a minute and just wait for that health to increase a little bit. It is a little bit slow though. We're not going to be able to move properly while it's like that, and also we'll be sick, so the fact that we've got some sort of bug, cholera, whatever it is, means that we are going to die eventually if we don't find antibiotics. If we move out far enough and then come back, there's a chance that some antibiotics may spawn back in the pharmacy we were, well, health centre, whatever you want to call it, that we were at before. But this is quite a high traffic area and it's going to get picked clean on a regular basis. We'd be better off trying to find a camp, like one of these scout camps that have their own health centre, and hopefully be able to find some there. But first we need it to be light so we can figure out which direction we're going in. I haven't got a compass at the moment. Without finding the compass, it's extremely hard. You can navigate using the stars in this if you know your stuff, but again, that's relatively difficult. That's more advanced stuff. Our guy is not well. Can we bring him back from the brink? Just while we're waiting for that health to go up a little bit, I'll just actually point out, because it's something I did mention earlier, is you see the weapon that we've got here, when you hover over it, it does tell you the type of ammo it uses. So I did pick up some ammo earlier, but the 9mm rounds are usually for certain handguns, although some handguns do take different calibers, so just bear that in mind. This thing here is not that great. It's literally a one-shot weapon, so you have to reload it after each shot. It's okay if you want to hunt animals, but against enemies, the time it takes you sometimes to reload, it means you're dead. If you shoot someone without any form of body armor on, potentially you could kill them with that one hit, but it's a risk and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I picked it up purely for the fact that it could do in a pinch, but you know. Let's see if we can crawl our way to this building up here and see if we can find something to put some water in. The reason why we need water is because on our journey now, trying to find medicine means we're going to be sick, and as soon as you're sick you empty all your water, so we need something to put water in. Doesn't matter if we're drinking dirty pond water now, purely for the fact that we're already infected. Make no difference. I'll take buckshot. We do like a pump action shotgun, that's pretty decent at close range. Really is nothing useful in here. Firewood, someone's been around here then. Pear. Rotten pears. The reason why I'm searching these sheds is because sometimes there is bottled water. There we go, one piece of fruit that's decent. Although if I try and eat that too quickly I'll be sick. Is that a store there? Yeah. Oh, here we go. Got a handgun. Has it got a magazine in it? Yes, it has. Alright, brilliant. We've got ourselves a handgun. Better than nothing. Let's reload it fully. Should take 15 rounds. Now what we can do is we can attach that suppressor to it. The suppressors will wear out, but we have got duct tape, which means we can repair it. What else did we have on that was worn? The police jacket. So what we're going to do very quickly now is we're going to repair the police jacket, which will give us a little bit more protection. If it's fully repaired, well, it's not going to be fully repaired, it's not going to be pristine, but it'll be classed as worn, but it's better than damaged or badly damaged. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. Well, I say we're good. We're not that good. We're still going to die, but unless. Another fresh pair, that's good. That's 2 pairs that we've got now. That could see us through a little bit of hunger, but the thing is, when you've got this infection, if you eat a whole pair, I'd just throw up, so you have to take small bites. Our hunger level's alright at the moment. It's more about the thirst level. Yeah, look how quickly our thirst is going down now. Oh, that's badly damaged. We've just picked up the same handgun anyway. I was just checking it in case it has a magazine in it. Having multiple magazines means that we can literally just reload it real quick. Oh, is that stream? Need to get some more water in our system. Let's try one of these pears real quick. Small bites. So in this game, when you've got that little bug symbol next to it, treat it like you would in real life with a stomach bug. If you eat or drink too much too quickly, you're going to throw up. Oh yes, here we go, now we're talking. We're finding a couple of fresh pears, that's good. So just a couple of bites and then just wait for a minute. You will periodically be sick anyway, regardless. Even so, if you being sick in this when you're ill, it happens every now and then. I think it's probably on a timer. But what we want is we want those little arrow symbols to come up above our thirst and hunger meter. And once they disappear, take another little bite. Just trying to get our health up. Once our health is up, we'll be alright. For a short period. There we go, this is what we want. Okay, so our health's up to yellow now. It's a pond or something. Drinking dirty pond water is not good. Okay, I think that's enough. Otherwise we're going to throw it. Alright, let's try and figure out where we are and where we can move on to. Looked in there already. We look in this building here though. So we're definitely still on the coast. We definitely can move on a little bit. Once I get to a certain spot, I know where there is, off the top of my head, where there is actually a clinic. I just don't like how quickly our water's going down. And that's due to us being ill. 3 arrows below it means it's going down really quick. Some rice. Yeah, see, it will go down quicker when we're moving because we're using energy. And a partly eaten pear. Let's take a couple of bites. That's being generous with all the clothing. Here we go. Pump action shotgun. Right, we had shotgun shells, didn't we? Let's empty them out. Right. We've got a little bit more of a chance of defending ourselves against a hostile online player now. Damn zombies. She ain't even got anything on her. That's how long it's taking my health to go up. Oh, look at that. What's the chances of that? 2 shotguns. We're not going to leave that for anyone else. Actually going to do, actually going to be cheeky. It means that if we do have to use our shotguns and we've got a little bit of action going on, we've got 2 loaded shotguns now, so rather than this one being empty and having to reload it, I ain't got to worry about that. I can just swap over to the second one. What we're going to do really quickly is lob this one so no one gets this weapon. Throw into the bushes. What's up? No, I'm not eating that. Well, I'm saying that we're already ill, so it's probably not going to really make much difference, but... Flashlight, let's use that. Might be a little bit easier than trying to use this, yeah. It will give our position away really quickly, and I wouldn't always recommend doing this, but at the moment we're in serious trouble and it will just make it a little bit easier to see where we're going. We've been in here already, haven't we? Oh no, because that hiking bag weren't in here before. So easy to lose your bearings at night. Oh, I think I just ate too much. That's for a different type of weapon, we don't need that. I'm not going to take that. This thirst is going down so quick. Fresh apple, good, good, good. It's quite typical in this game that when you don't need something, you'll find loads of them. But when you do actually need something, you never find it. Like at the moment, we just want something to be able to put some water in, so we're able to travel without having to worry about needing the water because of how quickly our body's losing the water because of being ill. Yeah, I've been in there already. I think we might have been far enough away from that pharmacy now to be able to go back and actually maybe find some medicine. I'm hoping those other guys have moved away, so we're going to try and work our way back. I think we've got to go along the coast anyway to get to the next area, so it's worth a check. Wow, shotgun central all of a sudden. Yeah, I definitely have some brass knuckles, they're really good. I'm going to put the brass knuckles in that 3rd slot. So hopefully the sun will be coming up soon. Oh wait, that'll be too quick. No, actually the rice won't give us much hydration. Okay, great, we've got another apple, that's good. This might... Oh, here we go. So we found a well, but we've got nothing to actually put the water in at this point. We just need to find a container. Hello, my friend. Is that Russian? I don't actually speak Russian, I'm afraid. Sorry. Do you know English? You comment in English, I'll understand. My bad. I'm just not in a position to be able to use Google Translate. Alright, so our health is finally up to white. It took a long time, didn't it? Let's try and crack on. I love how it always gives you flashlights with no batteries in them. Don't know when around here owns any batteries. We're able to run now without having to have any issues with that. Now our health's up. The fact that we're pretty much losing as much water as running normally anyway from having this illness means we're just going to run. Disinfectant spray can be used to disinfect bandages and sewing kits, so if you get a cut and you're injured then you are able to disinfect it. You can also use alcoholic tincture as well, which is what I normally have a bottle of in my inventory, just purely for the fact that it stops you from getting these infections where you need antibiotics, a little bit like what we've got now. Have we got an axe yet? I don't think we have. I'm going to get rid of the spade and take an axe. I might regret that at some point, but we might need the axe more to be able to cut down trees if we survive long enough. Where's a freaking bottle when you need one, man? That's all I need is a bottle. It's like you normally find them all over the place. Can't drink out the car battery. Oh, hello. Welcome from Moscow. Well, yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for joining the stream. We're just doing a live survival guide for beginners, and it's proving to be quite challenging, which is fun. Nothing to store water in. I mean, I'd even take a jerry can at this point. More shovels. I don't need shovels. This looks familiar, so now it's getting light, we can actually see where we are. We've already covered this area. Let's try and hoof it up here. Okay, we've got to keep an eye on that thirst meter. It's gone down again now to yellow. We don't want to start losing health. Here we go. Cooking pot. Sweet. Alright, so we can go back to that well. We'll go back to where there's water. We can actually fill that with water and drink from it. Needs must. Because we've got the apple at the moment though, we're going to continue on up this way for now. Let's just see if there's anything else in these buildings that we might have missed before because it was dark. Yeah, I have to use Google Translate as well sometimes, so don't worry about it, bud. Doubt I'll be needing that ammo, but we'll take it anyway. You never know when you find a weapon that you need in an emergency. Wow, Shovel Central. I can remember I played the game a little while ago and I was desperately looking for a shovel because I'd found a stash. And man, I could just not find one. Like for hours and hours searching all the villages. And what was that, about 4 shovels in one area we just found there. That's kind of my point. More disinfectant spray, no. Another axe. There's no food or anything in any of these buildings. It's a good job we found that fruit. Take the netting. So netting can be used to create kind of wraps for your guns. Let's put it inside the cooking pot, I thought I had. ghillie suits, that sort of thing, but you have to get the burlap sacks as well, so you have to combine them, so netting with burlap sacks. Well, not the sack. Oh, I've just ate too much, I'm going to throw it. We're going to get away with it. Don't know. You have to actually cut the burlap sacks up with a knife to turn them into strips, and then with the netting combine them. You need a certain amount of them though, so you probably want to store them up if you want to create a ghillie suit or a ghillie wrap for your gun, or a ghillie hood or whatever. But I don't really think many people bother with them anymore, to be honest with you. I've not seen anyone in a ghillie suit for a very long time. Oh wow, being generous with the netting in this server. It's normally like rocking horse shit. Really hard to find. Yeah, there we go. We'll have that. Thank you very much. Those rats are crap. Alright. A couple more buildings, then we'll try and get down to that pharmacy and see if we can find some antibiotics. Once we get rid of this bug, it's going to be business as usual and we'll be able to crack on. Now, I said about finding a compass, but these orienteering compasses are horrible. I can't use them. Not the old-fashioned one. Thank you very much for joining the stream, man from Moscow. Enjoy your sleep. Don't think I've got any sunglasses. It's good. Generator. Right, normally it lets you empty containers. This one it doesn't. For some strange reason it's not going to let me empty the motor oil. Well, I was hoping we'd be able to use that container to put water in. It's not going to let us. There's no point in going upstairs. There's very rarely anything decent upstairs in those buildings. Okay, so all that fruit, I'm just going to have to drink the Coke. More shotguns? God damn it. I need any more shotguns. I love how he opens the can every time he has a swig. Rotten apples. Another tip, it's a good idea always, well not always, but every now and then to have a look behind you, because sometimes people are sneaking up on you. I found that out the other night. I was sat in the tree line, I was a fresh spawn pretty much, I was just having a look through my binoculars and I got shot from behind by a guy in full combat gear. Doing what I said earlier, where they just camp and wait for new spawns to come through. So if I'd have looked around while he was sneaking up on me, I could have actually got one up on him. The machete, don't need that. Now I know I said I was going to try and find some meat and cook it and show you guys how to do the campfire, but for now first we need to get rid of this infection and then we'll move on. There's a burlap sack. To make it into a strip, I ain't got no room for it. We've got a backpack now anyway, so we don't necessarily need to make a bag out of it for now, so we're good. Take the strip though. Because it's smaller, I'll take it as a strip. Alright. No room for it though, so we're gonna have to start getting rid of some of this crap. We don't need the jeans, so just keeping them just in case we don't need them. Rice, rice, baby. Dun 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 dun. Huh? Dumbass zombies. Huh? Tin of tuna, thank you very much. Don't need the bandana. Sometimes they have food in them. Oh yeah, being very generous with the burlap strips. Alright, I'm hoping we might be alright in a minute to be able to try and make it back down to where the pharmacy is. I think we're going to try and maybe do that now. Right, let's crack out the tin of tuna. Thought I heard footsteps then. Just now got to try and remember where that well was, or some water of some sort. Okay, what we're going to do really quick, just while I can spot it, there's a chicken over here. We're just going to take out the chicken. Gonna skin and quarter it, take the meat, and then once we've got our antibiotics, we're going to cook up ourselves some nice chicken breast steaks because we're feeling better and we'll be able to eat them. Oh, are you kidding me? Don't tell me where's my chicken breasts? Oh, there. I was going to say, I thought I just like skinned a breastless chicken. There can't be no such thing as a breastless chicken, surely. I'm sure that well was around this area somewhere. We travelled far further than I thought we did. Maybe we did. Either way, we should come across that stream in a minute. Again, another thing that's really useful in that map, hey, there it is, that I mentioned that's in my description in the video, is it does actually show you where the wells and that are. So, right, notice here we can wash our hands. It's really important that you wash your hands after you've... No. I have to press it once. That blood can make you ill that you got on your hands. Especially if I was to drink now, I'd get a stomach bug. If I was to eat food after I'd skinned it, which is kind of in real life would happen, it's cross-contamination. If you'd just got dirty chicken blood all over your hands. Oh, I think I just drank too much, I could throw up. I keep forgetting I got this infection. Yeah, and then you touch raw food after having raw food on your hands and you ate it, you're going to get ill. Or you could get ill, potentially. This game has quite a few mechanics under the surface. They're actually quite complex. It's easy to miss or not understand. Right, our pan. Let's take our nets out. We definitely didn't have 2 nets a minute ago. Oh no, we did. We found the second one. Going to fill the pot up now. We've got some water. We can search a little bit easier now, knowing that we've got some water to drink if we need it. Alright, brilliant. It's full of water. Right, what can we get rid of? I want to keep the 2 nets. Let's play a bit of inventory Tetris. Four spaces for the machete. You know what, we're just going to get rid of the knife. I've got the machete, we don't necessarily need the knife. We don't need that anymore either. No, because we might need the saw. Got rid of a little bit of junk anyway. We'll have another couple of sips just for prosperity. Alright. I'm gonna head back down into the city or town, whatever you want to call it. It's the dirty pond water we were drinking earlier. Gotta try and remember which side the pharmacy was on. Is it up there or was it down here? Is there a hospital down here? There's always a risk that we could get shot and killed before we even get any health. Oh, look at that, 2 cooking pots in a row. Isn't that typical? We might just have to dump one of the no. Could dump one of the shotguns and use the space for another pot, fill it out with water as well, but I think that's just overkill. Although I'd rather be overkilled on water, I guess, than overkilled on shotguns at this point, but... Okay. The fact that the door's shut's not a bad sign. Let's be cautious though. Standard police pants have got 4 less slots in them, so we're not going to swap them. Don't. Yeah, we'll take the rounds. Just in case we get a scorpion or something. Wasting time here doing this, but hey, we're passing it anyway, we've got to check it. Quite a few zombies around here. That's a school. I ain't gonna have antibiotics. These rounds will definitely come in handy once we get some different weapons. Right, let's have a look, see if we can get up here. Right, this is a sign saying we're leaving Penho, or whatever it's called. This is where we were earlier. So if we follow this road down, this is going to take us into the city. And hopefully we'll be able to find the pharmacy from there. I'm just hoping those guys have left and no one else has come through there since we were through there earlier. And it's going to have spawned some tetracycline pills, which is the antibiotics. We make it. To be honest with you, a little bit of patience that we just had, and I know it seemed quite long-winded at the time it took us to get our health back up, and some people could say, oh, you know, it probably would have been easier for you to have just died and started again, but that means we would have had to have found, as much as it might seem like junk at the moment, we would have had to have found all this stuff all over again. And sewing kit. Okay, well, with the sewing kits, as you would have thought, you can repair worn clothing and stuff like that, which if it gets damaged. But what I'd normally use the sewing kit for is suturing, so I'd use it to stitch up wounds. We're still yet to find some alcoholic tincture, but we have got disinfectant spray, so very quickly, I've never tried this before, but we hopefully should be able to disinfect the needle with the disinfectant spray, so it'll kill all the germs on it. It means now that if I get a cut and I heal myself now with that, it's not going to give me an infection, which means I haven't got to go through this whole process of trying to find antibiotics. Although once we find antibiotics, there's usually 12 in a pack. Most infections would usually disappear. Well, with how long I've had this infection for, I'll probably need 2 to 3 tablets to get rid of it, but usually if it's early stages, one tablet would be enough, so I'll normally see you through for a little while. Here we go. Signs of civilization. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that guy, how you doing? Advice on base building. Well, to be honest with you, bud, base building in this game is still not as good as what it could be. It's only real basic stuff. You can build fences, you can build like guard towers that you can put a tin roof on. You can lock gates, make gates and stuff like that, and put barbed wire around it. But to be honest with you, it's so easy to raid bases. Unless you're actually guarding it 24 hours a day, you're going to get raided quite often. Sorry to say, mate, but the base building in this ain't great. I can show you some basics, maybe at some point in the stream, maybe. If the devs were to put a little bit more time and effort into the base building, yeah, like someone's been through there, and make it a little bit more like the Forest. I don't know if you've ever played the survival game The Forest. The base building now is pretty decent. Like in this game, I'd like to be able to just make a basic tent, like with a sheet of plastic and some sticks, just to keep the rain off you. even the tents in this don't even keep the rain off you, you know. Well, that's fine. I mean, if you're playing the game in a private server, then that's great. And there are some mods that means if you're playing the server where you can mod, that you can make better bases. But in standard kind of vanilla, like what I'm playing in now, it's just not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Base building is pretty basic, pretty rubbish, if I'm honest. Don't want to sound negative or anything. When I first started playing this game, I made a base and, you know, got raided within a day, I think. Although you can bury all your stuff. So what I ended up doing is making a really extravagant base just as a distraction from where I really hid all my stuff. So you could use it as a distraction. If you're playing the survival side of the game, then I think the way you're going with the private server is probably the best way. It means it can be just you. You can play more of that side of the game. Oh, are they? What the hell is that down there? Is that people? Is it a zombie? Is it a pile of shit? I don't know what's going on. Well, sniping's a different matter. Sniping's actually quite good in this game. You get yourself like the M70 Tundra sniper rifle with the long range scope on it. Get yourself a rangefinder, and it's pretty decent. I've tested it quite a lot. The rangefinder, once you've got your range and you've set your zero in on your scope to the range that you want to hit, you're going to pretty much hit it. You can hold your breath as well, obviously, by when you're aiming, by pressing control on the keyboard, which will steady your scope. So I'd recommend, if you're sniping, not to be carrying too much. For that, I would recommend building a ghillie suit. So find yourself as much netting and burlap strips as you can. Get building yourself a ghillie suit. That's only if you're doing PvP though, I guess, just to keep you a bit more hidden. Alright, we're just going to literally huff it down here because we are going to die if we don't get these antibiotics. I'll let another cooking pot. Right, let's step in here quick and have a drink. Can you imagine what that water tastes like? Yeah. After being in a greasy cooking pot. But survival situational, it's better drinking your own piss. Right, we're just going to get... Oh, hit my mic. Just going to get that thirst level up to it being white again. And then we're going to move on. Okay, I missed a bit of your message there, that guy. So just on making it look good, so what you can do is you build yourself a hunter's tower in the corner of your base, and I would recommend attaching camo netting to all the fences and also the guard tower. So it looks pretty sick if you do that. So that's what I'd recommend doing, getting some camo netting together from the military bases and attaching that to all the fences and the tower itself. It'll look really good. Then whack some barbed wire along the top, and that also makes it look really good as well. I love that, how I can still store stuff in the cooking pot even though I've got water in it. It's great. Right, okay, let's see. Are we going to be lucky or unlucky? Are we going to die trying to get to the pharmacy? If we get to the pharmacy, is it going to be dry of medicines? All these questions, so many questions and not enough answers. Here we go. This is where we were earlier when those guys were here. This is... Let's refill this. I know we only drank a little bit from it, but we could potentially need that little bit. Places to loot. Well, it depends on what you're after. What items would you want to loot? If you're looking for like weapons and ammo, then you ideally want to be going to the far north military camps. They have the best weapons and equipment, but you know, on a private server that's great. You know, if you've just you on it, you ain't gonna have no issues. Just build yourself a car, just drive up there, job done. On public high population servers like this one, you want to start with some of the smaller military road blocks to be able to just get a little bit of stuff together. Yeah, so Northwest Airfield, and then there's a military base that a lot of people miss. It's like even further north than that one. And once you're at that one, if you go then even north from where the north lot of tents are, you'll actually find there's like these little hidden military bunkers that aren't actually listed on any of the maps, and they sometimes have some decent assault rifles. And in terms of military style vests, like bulletproof vests, ballistic vests, whatever you want to call them, you can actually find them from some of the zombies, military zombies that are roaming around near some of the army checkpoints. I'd recommend trying to find them, get a bulletproof vest, and then the pouches and the attachments that go with it you'll get from the military bases that you find a little bit further north. Tizzy, it's near Tizzy, I think. If I remember rightly, there's a place called Tizzy, yeah. I think it's near there. Oh look, I just found a box, wooden crate. Is there anything decent in it? No. Crap. So that little crate we just found there, that's what you make using nails and planks. You chop down a tree, saw the log to make planks with a saw, and then use nails to be able to make a crate. And that crate then can be used to store items. You can also bury those crates, which is what I'd recommend doing. Find a decent spot that you're going to remember as a stash, and then hide some of your decent kit. It means if you die then and you remember where you hid it, as long as you can find yourself a spade, you'll be able to get back to it and recover some of your stuff. So that's what I would normally do. Now I'm sure there was a pharmacy. Isn't there a pharmacy around here? Or are we in a different place? It's a fire station, we don't want that. That's so dead. We can't find this pharmacy, we are so dead. So did we find the pharmacy before or after? We found it after those guys and after we'd got the drink, so we need to head back in this direction. All right. Oh, we drank a little bit too much. Just throwing it all back up. Yeah. Great. Yeah, we've got no fluid in us at all now. Just took us that long to get our health back up as well, didn't it? Now it's going back down. I'll tell you what though, we're lucky we found this cooking pot and got some water in it, because otherwise we would have been dead. Oh, seriously dude, stop throwing up. Right, so this is the later stages of being ill. At this point now we're being sick, like literally after every few sips we are close to being seriously fucked. Excuse my French, but I think it's a fitting way of explaining how much trouble we're in. There we go, here it is. So you can see clearly it's a blue building with like a tin roof on it. That's how you distinguish, if you need to, from a distance where the pharmacy is. But these things are absolutely rinsed by other players. Just hoping. The fact that all the doors are shut means it might have reset, and we're going to find some medicine. Here we go, tetracycline pills. I can breathe, thank God. This is what we're looking for. Let's shut the door and get one of these bad boys in us really quickly. So, broad spectrum antibiotics used to treat bacterial infectious diseases. We'll take one now. We're going to sit here for a minute and wait for it to start working. Have a drink. Right, now we can move on. We can go and build ourselves a little fire and cook some chicken up in a minute once we're feeling better. Then we're going to go and try and find some military style weapons. Probably for the next hour. Hopefully should be able to finish with a little bit more of what as a beginner you'd be wanting to do after kind of getting past these first few barriers that you're going to come across. So we've definitely covered the getting sick part of the game. So just bear in mind the things that can cause you to get sick. Drinking unpurified water, that's one, that's how we got ill. Getting scratched by a zombie, and actually no, I think that's what gave us the infection, I think. I can't remember anyway. Either way, if you get scratched by a zombie or you hurt yourself, sliding down ladders without gloves on will cut your hands. You get an infection from that if you're not using sterilised bandages. So you can find bandages in first aid kits and stuff. They are non-sterile. Unless you use the alcohol or different disinfectant spray, you will get ill from it. So these are all sorts of things that can make you ill. Also eating rotten food, eating burnt food. So if you cook meat but you've overcooked it and it goes burnt, that can also make you ill. And eating undercooked or raw meat as well. So just be aware. And as I probably said earlier, but I'll just cover it off again now. If you do find water in a bottle and you've not added chlorine tablets to it or boiled it, then again it can make you ill because you don't know how long it's been there for or what sort of water's in it. Someone could have gone and filled it up from their toilet. Just because it's in the water bottle doesn't mean it's clean. The same goes for if you find a military canteen as well. Alright. We could do with a pair of gloves. I was talking about hurting our hands. Right, just search these other ones just in case of first aid kit. No, we literally are so lucky that we just got literally what we needed. Sometimes there can be things on the tables and the stretchers and stuff as well, so it's always good to check them too. Right, let's take a quick stock inventory while we're here. We've got a lot of shit, but some of this stuff will come in handy, believe me. So the blood collection kit, what we can do with this is collect blood. It means if we lose too much blood from getting cut, if we get shot, we have to heal ourselves, you can just literally put this back into your system. But once you've collected the blood, you will have to can't talk and think at the same time. You will have to find an IV starter kit to link to it. So you know all those IV starter kits that you may have come across and thought they're rubbish, they're not. That's what you need it for. Also you can find saline solutions. So saline is what will rehydrate you. So we could have used one of those to have replenished our dehydration. But again, it's just finding them. There are sometimes other healing items in the waiting room as well. There we go. Notice our shoes are damaged. We've got to repair them, because if we don't keep an eye on that, we'll get cut feet. And literally this game is such a pain in the ass when you cut your feet. You'll heal yourself, and then literally 2 or 3 steps later you've trod on something else that's sharp, and you've cut your feet again and you're bleeding. Shoes are very important. Nearly out of water. Hopefully we're nearly better. Now once we're better, our food and drink will stay up for quite some time in the white area, so I ain't got to worry about all that stress that we've just had. Let's take another one of these. It's nearly run out. So that little pill icon down in the right hand corner of the screen next to the infection icon, that shows that you're currently using medication. Once that disappears, then the medication that you're using is wore off. There we go, we're better now. So let's crack on. Sod's Law is likely to be that we'll walk out of here and get blasted. But I think we covered a fair bit there. Right, let's actually go out of the town now, because this is where people are likely to be hanging around. We've done what we needed to do. We're just going to find an area that's a little way away from people. We're going to cook that chicken up. So I'm going to show you how the cooking elements work. If you get yourself a tripod, camping tripod, although they are a pain in the ass to carry unless you've got one of these big bags, you are actually able to hang the cooking pot from it over the fire to be able to boil water. And if you've got water in there, you'll also be able to cook up that rice that I've got as well. So we could have potentially cooked some rice, but I ain't going to bother faffing around with that. You can eat dry rice as it is. That's what we're going to do now, because we've got too many packs taking up some space. Still getting the calories and that from it, which is good. Okay, so the temperature of what you cook certain meats on makes a big difference as well to it being burnt. So if you don't want to burn food, don't absolutely fill your fire with loads of logs. Just use something really basic. So what we're going to do is find a bush. I'm going to cut the bush down so we've got a long stick. Now we want this long stick that comes from it to be able to roast our chicken. Then what we want to do is cut bark off a tree, which we're going to use as kindling. And we use that kindling to light the fire. Just made 2 lots. Now, one thing you can do is you can also make yourself a drill kit. So if you haven't got matches, like I've found here, then you can make yourself a drill kit with 1 piece of bark and a wooden stick. You get the wooden sticks from actually these long sticks. You split them. Notice that's giving you the option to split it. So you can split that into small sticks, combine that with a piece of bark. Then once you've created your fire, you can actually then use that to light it. I ain't got to worry about that because we've got matches. But that's just a brief overview of how to do that. Now we've got to chop this tree down to be able to get a log. You can make small fires just by using sticks and kindling. So if you don't want to make a massive fire, you just need something real quick. You just make it out of sticks from the bush. 13 hits usually it takes to cut down the tree, if you're counting. Right, so we've got our bark. We can now combine that with our logs to craft a fireplace. Now, just bear in mind that this is risky what we're doing here, because people will see this. But I would recommend that if you are going to be creating a fire, try and make it in the daytime, not at night. Because at night you're going to create a lot of light and it's going to give away your position to enemies. In the day, it's going to give off smoke, but it's less likely for people to be able to see it. Right. We can ignite the fire now using our matches. And now we get to roast these chicken breasts. Don't get too close to the fire, it will burn you. If you are cold, so that little temperature gauge down in the right hand corner, if you are cold or you've got wet clothes because it's been raining, sitting next to a fire will warm you and dry your clothes, which is really good. Right, so now we can just press the left mouse button. That gives us the prompt to roast our chicken. We don't want to overcook the chicken. Once that little circle that's going around on the screen now, once that gets past the 12 o'clock, it will mean that it's cooked. The chicken should say it's baked before you eat it, so make sure it says baked. I'll show you what that is in a minute. Now, if you're going out and about and it's raining and you're cold, actually storing up a few cooked meat items in your clothing, like in your jacket, in the inventory, will actually keep you warm, because the heat from the meat keeps you warm. At the moment, the game, these food items don't ever go cold for some reason. They constantly stay hot. If only that happened in real life. But yeah, so that's another good little tip to have. Right, so now notice that the chicken breast says baked. That's what we want it to say. Before the fire runs out, we're going to cook our last chicken breast and then winner chicken dinner. So can you imagine if we got shot by someone now just before we had a chance to eat it? Oh, the irony. Then we're going to say bye to this city and we're going to go down the coast and try and find some military camps. Alright. Cool. Just very quickly then, let's drop that stick. What we're going to show you now is just very quickly how to make the storage boxes. So when you chop down a large tree, you'll get firewood, but you'll also get one of these big wooden logs. So once we've got the saw and we're actually over the top of the wooden log, one option there is to craft wooden plank. That's what we want to do. Craft the wooden plank using this hand saw. So you can use either a hand saw or a hacksaw. We can get rid of this now because we ain't going to need it again. And then that box of nails we found earlier, you will have to open the nails the same as you do with the ammo before you can use them. And then once you've got them in your hand, you literally just drag the planks from the vicinity to where your nails are and then press the left mouse button to be able to now craft that. You don't need a hammer or anything to be able to craft the wooden crates. This guy's so solid, he just hammers the nails in with his bare hands. Guy's an absolute psycho. Alright, cool. So now you've got your wooden crate, you can just put whatever you want in there, really. You've got 50 spaces, which is pretty cool. What junk have we got we can put in there? One thing I like to do is often just in really obvious places just bury wooden crates full of junk, and then just like, you know, someone's going to come along and see it's a mound on the floor, run off, find a spade, which sometimes going to take them probably an hour to find a shovel, and then when they dig it up, there's nothing but crap in there. I like doing that. I get a lot of satisfaction from doing that. It's very cool of me, I know, but we haven't really got anything we can get rid of. Not that I really want to get rid of. I want to keep some of this stuff just in case. Because that's the thing, you never know. But there you go. There's your wooden crate. You can bury it. Hide it in a tree. So I'll give you a tip. This is one of my tips that I do. I'll often find one of these pine trees. Once you're inside the pine tree, just press and hold down on G to drop it. And the crates will actually just hang in between the branches. Now if you're in an area where it's like quite kind of, I don't know, what's the word, got a lot of trees all around it, you can actually hide crates around the tree without having to bury them, which is quite handy for easy access. It means if you die and you have to respawn in, you ain't got to find a shovel to be able to access what's in there. Right, let's see what about chicken breasts anyway. Alright, job done. There we go. Right, we can go and adventure a little bit now then. So we've covered off a fair bit. We've covered off how to start the game in terms of finding food at the beginning, finding clothing, which is quite important. How to heal yourself when you're nearly dead, which we did a half decent job of actually, if I do say so myself. Now what we want to do is try and get along to where the coastline is, avoiding these built up areas to avoid any bandits. By bandits, there's no AI bandits in this game, although it'd be nice if they did add them in. But just in general, I mean, other online players who just want to kill you and steal your stuff. And then we're going to work our way along to where I know there is a scout camp and then also a little military checkpoint. From there, I know I've got my bearings. We'll be able to find the next military camp area pretty good. Actually, one or two from there. So we're going to go and see if we can find some decent assault weapons, like assault rifle, maybe some sniper rifles. Once we've got a couple of assault rifles or a long range rifle, we're able to start taking on some of these guys. I would ideally like to get a ballistic vest and a ballistic helmet to be able to help us a little bit as well, which means we'll be able to take a few more bullets before dying. The difference between living and dying. Always keep an eye on what's going on around you. At this stage we've got nothing long range, so if we did spot someone off in the distance, it's not like we're going to be able to shoot them. We get a rough idea of what's going on. That there looks like an apple grove, so we're going to run through the apple grove real quick just in case we can get some fruit. But before that, I'm going to sit under this tree. It's going to give us a fair bit of cover. And just have a drink of that last bit of water out of our cooking pot. We don't need to worry about sipping it now because we ain't ill. We can chug. You can literally chug it, get it in our guts, which is good. You would have thought with an apple orchard this big there'd be a shed load of apples on the floor, wouldn't you? But you believe it or not, there is hardly any. Make the game too easy, wouldn't it? But you can actually plant your own seeds for vegetables. So when you explore, usually in things like the hunter towers that you'll come across and the feeding shacks, you'll find little packs of seeds like pumpkin, pepper, or like courgettes. I think they call it zucchini or something. What you can do is get a shovel. One of the options with the shovel is to dig kind of like a patch where you can plant the seeds. Once you've planted the seeds, you need to water them with some water, and then if you leave it for a little while, they will actually grow a fair bit of fruit. Sorry, not fruit, you know what I mean. Actually, you can grow tomatoes. There's a debate that is a fruit. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So you can stock up some fruit and vegetables, and they do actually give you some decent levels of sustenance as well, so you can survive quite some time on some of them. Well, this has got to be the shittest orchard in terms of an apple, and it's definitely an apple orchard. Where's all the apples, man? Come on. I found one. I found more apples around the apple trees inside the village we were in. God damn it. So here's the railway tracks. You can actually follow the railway tracks. Again, the railway tracks, like roads, will take you to some decent locations. So if you're not really sure on where you're going, then I would say follow some of the roads and some of the train tracks to get you to some villages, because they all will go through villages or towns. So rather than getting lost out in the wilderness and not having a clue where you're going, because trust me, it is a big map. If you're in the middle of nowhere, you're going to run out of food. Not necessarily run out of food or water, because you can hunt. You can hunt wild animals, you can find water with streams and stuff like that, but if you ain't got the facility to sterilise the water or cook the food, then you're just as stuck, ain't you, really? Right, so next we could do with a hunting rifle, I think. If we're going to find any weapons next, we can dump one of these shotguns. Oh look, we've got an infection again. I'm not quite sure how that happened, because that water that was in there was actually from the well, so it should have been clean. We cooked the food, we cooked the chicken, so for some strange reason maybe it's gave us food poisoning from the chicken, but it shouldn't have done because it was cooked. Maybe not cooked enough. Maybe it has to be over a certain temperature. That's a good point. So sometimes the food is not cooked thoroughly. Even though it says it's baked, it might not be necessarily cooked. We're just going to eat that last chicken breast now while we just took an antibiotic. It doesn't matter then if it's cooked or not, because the antibiotics just got rid of that infection anyway. Infection, bug, food poison, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. It's gone now anyway. It's gone. One thing I would like them to introduce into this would be something like bikes, like bicycles. I just think it would help getting around a little bit easier. It's like, at the moment, vehicles in this game, as I mentioned earlier, are quite difficult to put together and take quite a lot of time and effort, and then the time and effort it's taken for the amount of time you'd use it for and how quickly you can lose them, it just doesn't really seem worth it. So unless you're playing on a private server and you can store it in a garage and not have to worry about anyone stealing it, then you're all good. But I just think there needs to be a little bit more of an accessible way to be able to get around. I just think the game's been out long enough now for them to do that. I mean, in the real world, you're going to at least come across a bicycle or a motorbike or something, ain't you? I mean, even a goddamn skateboard. Right, so this is where we are. Just found a map. So you see on the map there's, I don't know if you can see, if you look down the map where those little stars are, that's ideally where we want to be. That's where we're going to find first aid. You usually tend to find where those first aid places are. You're normally going to have military camps as well. So I don't know if those little stars might be to do with the military symbols. I think they might be, and because there's little red symbols with a little cross in it, they're the first aid. So the symbols with the red circle and the little white asterisks in them, I think they're the military bases. So they're the ones we're looking for. This next place down has a military tent, but it's not worth really just trying to take it out. Well, let's take it out to visit it just for one tent, because there could be people hanging around there. It's not worth it. You want to go somewhere where there's at least 3 or 4 military tents. Sometimes yield a little bit more. Another apple orchard with no apples. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, once the stream's finished, I'm going to download it and edit it into a shorter version. It's going to be a little bit more kind of like a bite-sized version of the guide. The live guide really was just in case people came in and had questions, which they kind of did, and you know, it's a good way to kind of see how the game plays in real time. But for then those people who might come along and might just want the help, just quick snippets, it will just make it a little bit easier for them, I guess. So if you guys fancy going through that and over it again, then just let me know. So sharpening stones, these things are freaking awesome. So your blades will get worn, knives, swords, that sort of thing. That's the quickest and easiest way to be able to repair them. What we're going to do is we're going to smash this zombie's face in. He didn't have anything on him, but you know, you never know. It's a lone zombie, it's worth taking out. I think we've got balaclava already, yeah. Well, this guy's got a backpack on, it might be worth taking him out. Might have a can of beans in there or something. Stop running around. Yeah, dumbass. He was tough. No, no beans. Oh well. So the saying is full of beans, don't apply to him. Doors open. Some of them though are just open generically, so you know, I wouldn't worry too much if you're playing the game and think there's someone there. There might not be. Being able to climb the fence would be nice. I ain't got enough stamina apparently. How much stamina do I need to jump over a fence, man? Oh look, now we find the bottle of water. Now we don't actually need it. Now I'm not going to empty the bottle of water straight away just in case we find some chlorine tablets. What I am going to do, however, though, is I'm going to lose this extra shotgun that we had. Let's just empty the cartridges out of it first. See ya! It's just weighing us down. These shotguns weigh, what, about 3 kilograms? That's a fair bit of weight. What we could do now is potentially hide that, and it means anyone who sees us on the road, if we've got that in our bag, might not think we're as much of a threat than we actually are. We're going to get rid of the axe as well, because I don't really need that now. I only kept it for just purely kind of giving you guys a bit of a tutorial on how to cut down trees, make crates and cook, just in case you're really new to the game. No magazine in it, we've already got that gun, we don't need it. Now it is risky running around without a gun in your hands, because the time it takes me to get that gun out and then actually shoot someone, there's will be the time it takes for me to die. But I'd also want to pull any potential hunters into a full sense of security, because once they get close enough, that pump shotgun can kill people in 1 or 2 shots. Literally, it's devastating at close range. And if they see that with me, then they might, if they've got a rifle, they might shoot me from a distance and I'm dead. So it's just more about kind of also using a little bit of psychological warfare in this game. Like earlier, I put my mic on, I said, oh, you know, I've got nothing on me, I'm a fresh spawn. Well, sometimes saying things like that to people who would potentially kill you can sometimes stop them from killing you long enough for you to actually kill them. So it's worth trying it. Doesn't always work, sometimes it might. I actually prefer the ski mask to the balaclavas, so we're going to swap them, you see what I mean? So these things, once I get the camo outfit, they just blend into the environment a little bit better. We're still keeping the helmet on at the moment because it will give us a little bit of extra protection until we find a better helmet. Right, so we've got a well here. The amount of people I've killed that have been sat at one of these wells filling up their bottle is just phenomenal. So just be aware of that, guys, that we are going to get rid of, we're going to get rid of the cooking pot now. We don't need that extra weight. We're going to empty the water out of this because, so emptying a bottle by looking down, if you don't look down, it won't give you the option to empty it. It'll give you the option to drink it. So what you have to do is you have to look down, and then it'll give you the option to then pour and empty it, because that could be, like I said, toilet water. That's, someone's filled up in that, you can get ill. Oh, how did our cooking pot teleport over here? So now what we can do is we can fill that water bottle up. We're now going to drink until our belly's full. And we ain't got to worry about water for a little while then. I'm hoping by visiting one of the military tents we might find ourselves a canteen. The military canteens hold so much more water, and if you've got a belt you can attach it to your belt, which means it's not taking up inventory space, which is really good. Okay, and we also want to find a more neutral coloured backpack as well, because this thing at the moment is like running around with a big red nose. Maybe you can see it a mile off. I don't know where I got a red nose from. A big red light beacon, whatever the hell you want to call it. But even if I'm in the bush, someone's going to see that. If it's green or a darker colour, like a grey or something like that, it's going to blend in a little bit more. Just can't get enough of that tasty water. You get hitting them in the face, they do normally go down in 3 hits with the knuckle dusters, but it ain't always an exact science. Sometimes you will find that you don't seem to be hitting them properly. Like that guy in the garage that I was hitting earlier, he took like a serious amount of punches. It's probably because I wasn't hitting him in his head. There's all the food. I've not found any food in ages. Like normally you find tins of beans and peaches and all sorts of stuff. Oh. One more house down here we're going to check real quick. Gloves, good, that's what we needed. Our hands are protected, sweet. What's our shoes doing? Still good. My favourite thing to find food-wise is strawberry jam. Don't need a medical thermometer. It tells you temperature if you're ill, but I don't think that's been incorporated into the game properly yet or not. We're going to take the bandana just for now, just in case. No, we're good. Let's move on. So playing this game just completely in first person seems really weird to me. So used to being able to switch to third person view, but in this server I can't. One thing I can say about this game, like while we're just, you know, enjoying the surroundings, is the graphics since they updated the engine are just amazing, and it's just so good. And at the moment these graphics are on high, they're not even on extreme, which when I'm not streaming I would normally be playing the game with the extreme settings, because it's obviously quite heavy on your system, but because I'm live streaming using OBS through the same PC, then that OBS needs a little bit of juice as well, so we just have to lower the settings down to high, so you guys that are watching the stream are still getting a 60 frame per second. Right, Just going to check these boats for tinned. There we go, Mad Monks, can of drink, that's good. Here we go, tinned peaches. So earlier on when I was talking about when you first start off that you want to be sticking along the shoreline, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for a decent amount of boats altogether because they usually yield some decent food. Now one thing I will show you very quickly is when you've got food, you can't do anything with these tins. It's just like in real life, you will need a tin opener or something to open it with. You don't necessarily need a tin opener. Anything that's sharp you can combine to the tin to be able to open it. So just for the sakes of the tutorial video, I'm just going to show you with the machete that we will open the tin. So once we've opened the tin, we're able to eat it. Now I know I'm not hungry at the moment, but the tin's open. That's fine. We can still store it away even though it's open. It's not going to go off too quickly. But opening tins with knives will make the knives blunt over time. So just bear that in mind as well. But there you go. That's how you open tins of food to be able to eat it. Now if you do get a tin of tuna, they do have one of those ring pull tops on them. But to open it, you would think that you would press and hold down the button, but you don't. You just have to tap the button once to open it. And that's how you open the tin of tuna. When the game first introduced tuna, people were really struggling with it. They didn't know how to open it because they were pressing and holding down on the button. And it didn't work. Alright, so we've got another... I think this area up here actually has an really old army barracks in it. So we're going to go and check that out. I think it's this one, the old factory. Make sure we're not being followed. Do we look relatively fresh? I don't know. We've got this police uniform on, a stab vest. I don't know if we necessarily look relatively fresh spawn to people. Nah, this isn't the area I was thinking of. It must be the next one along. These military checkpoints, like this one here, these aren't the ones that have any weapons or anything, so they're only the ones with the tents. So it would be nice to have a few items in these checkpoints. The developers should really incorporate a couple of things to be able to be found here. So, like, you know, even if it's just ammo or lower level weapons. Here we go, look, that's good. So what we've just got here is we've got a tourist map, so I can show you that. These used to be like rocking horse shit as well to find. It used to be really difficult to find these tourist maps. You find them a little bit easier now. I think the game they're having a few problems with the code and things weren't spawning in like they should. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get into a little bit of cover. I'm just going to show you it. So what it means is when you've got the tourist map and you view it, it doesn't actually show you where you are, which is frustrating, but it can give you some indication of direction. So if you're lucky enough to get one of these and you've got a compass, what you can do is say, so when we was in this place here, which I call Bepenho because that's the nearest word I can think of that comes up with the Russian that it's in. Here, if say you want to get to this military camp here or tents or whatever it is, you then know that from where you are here, you've just literally got to kind of travel in a southwest kind of direction to be able to get into that area. You can usually spot things, which is pretty good. And for any of you that have found one of these maps and you wonder what these little red stars are that you find, these are actually kind of like places where you can get like a good view. So it's just kind of like a nice area with a nice view. Now, the map can potentially come in handy a little bit, but I think once you've got a compass, use the online map that I've gave you. Yeah, you will have to either switch out from the game to look at it on your browser or look at it on your mobile phone or whatever, but I still find it a little bit more kind of like detailed than using this tourism map. Although this tourist map here is quite a nice little novelty. You've got some decent information on it. You know, again, if you zoom in, it will show you places where you could find food. That's a church as an example. So, you know, first aid, that sort of thing. So, you know, it's okay, but I just think it'd be nice if it did show you position of where you are on the map. However, it wouldn't be a hardcore survival game if it did that. So they're going more for realism in this over anything else, which I kind of appreciate. Just takes a little bit of getting used to. The geography and navigation, orienteering, whatever the hell you want to call it in this game, is pretty difficult. But once you're 600 hours deep in, like I am, it does make it a lot easier, although I still do sometimes get a little bit lost. Finding a compass at this point actually would be quite nice. Okay, we've got to be a little bit careful here. And these industrial places at this point is not really anything worth searching for me. For what I need right now, I'm not going to risk it. We're just going to give it a wide berth. A couple of containers over there we could potentially search through. Green containers, the dark green containers, will have sometimes military items in them. Usually not anything that great though. Usually it's things like ammo. I say not that great. You know, without the ammo you can't fire your guns, but actually I don't know if was there any in there. No, there wasn't. Alright, really be careful of finding things like wooden crates out of the middle of nowhere. Sometimes, I know this is going to sound really cruel, what I will do is I will actually put a backpack on the floor with quite a few decent items in it, and then I'll wait for someone to come along and sit there and rifle through it. Gives you a good chance to shoot them. If you are going to play this play style of being that kind of like hunter bandit type player, then that is a really good tactic. Also, what I'd recommend doing is maybe doing it at night, but putting a glow stick on the backpack and activating the glow stick so the area around the bag actually glows up. Easier for people to see. You can also do the same with a torch, so you could put a battery or almost a dead battery in a torch, switch it on and drop it in a building, and then move away a little bit. It will light up the building at night, and people sometimes are quite inquisitive and they want to search. Usually the type of people looking for you when you do that are the people who are going to kill you anyway, and that's why they're looking for you, so they kind of get what they deserve, really. I find these buildings, these ones, are the crappiest buildings when it comes to finding anything decent in them. They're so stingy, they're not almost worth actually searching. I don't know what it is with these, and I say that, and look, it's just give me gold. Like, tin of beans, man, nice. Those DayZ beans are pretty decent. Now, I would often say refrain from eating any food until your hunger meter actually goes down. There's really no point. Unless you do need it to bring up your thirst meter, because, you know, for obvious reasons, dehydration is a killer, as you already know. Alright, we're coming up to another little village. Now these are locations where new spawns will spawn in. They're all along this coastline, so if you are hanging around near this coastline, expect to see maybe new spawns. Or fresh spawns, whatever you want to call them. I call them new spawns. They will have the kind of basic tracksuit on, but don't be fooled. If you see them with a backpack on, then they could be hiding a weapon in it like me, and they're just trying to trick you into thinking they've just spawned in just so they can shoot you and rob you. It's another tactic sometimes people use. Keep the generic clothing that you get at the beginning of the game, hang around the coast, change into it with a rucksack with a weapon in it. To be honest with you, that's probably why those other guys shot me when I said I was a fresh spawn and I had nothing on me. They probably thought that's what I was doing, and to be honest with you, I did have a rifle on my back even though it had no ammo in it. do is I'm going to sit under this tree and I'm going to take a sip of water. Once you find chlorine tablets, it's easy just to be able to refill your drinks from these kind of pools of water and rivers that you find. Although I don't think this bit here would normally allow you to fill up your water from, because I think this is seawater and this is going to have salt in it. I've never tried it actually. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, it does allow you. No, actually it doesn't. I've got my water bottle in my hands. Let's take that out. Yeah, it doesn't give you the option to drink this, and that's because you wouldn't want it. It's salt water. You'd be really ill if you drink salt water. Alright, this is where the tension starts again, because this is where we could potentially find bad guys, and we've got another pharmacy here as well, which is a real hot spot for... Actually, I think this has also got a... There is a well down here, just around here. I'm going to fill up some water there if we don't get killed. Let's make a quick run for the pharmacy. Right. Doors are open, that means it's been raided. The fact that there's nothing here means it wasn't that long ago, which means there is someone in the area. So what I'd usually do is shut the doors, because that way any guys outside are not going to be able to see you through the windows, because you don't want to be shot in the side or in the back from someone who can see you through the windows. Yeah, one thing I've got to say is you can lean as well, using the Q and E button, so you're able to lean around the corner. Right, what we're going to do then is we're going to just get the machete out. Let one of these guys in. Okay, so notice he just cut me, so we're bleeding now. Yeah, it's bleeding up. So what we're going to do is use our sewing kit that we disinfected earlier. Otherwise we're going to bleed out. Notice how our blood meter's going down. So notice that the cut had a number on it. That means the number of cuts you've got. So that was one cut. You can potentially get more than one cut. So, you know, the more you get, the more times you're going to have to sew yourself or bandage yourself. That's the risk you take for doing what I just did, but sometimes killing zombies can yield some decent results. So I've managed to get a decent amount of food from zombies just from killing them. It means you haven't got to spend hours rummaging through buildings. If you've got the patience, then fair enough, but if not... Okay, we let too many in there, so... Sometimes paramedics will have things like bandages on them. These doors in here are quite good because they open this way. There you go, she's got a tin of tuna on it, that's decent, I'll have that, thank you very much. That was definitely worth getting a scratch. At this point I just think, yeah, we got a bandage, nice. At this point I just think that the knuckle dusters are just so much easier to use than the bladed weapons. I mean, look how much easier that was. Look, we've got a Pepsi, nice. Have some Pepsi. Sorry, Pipsy. There are other cola drinks available on the market, just a disclaimer there. So I call it Pipsy because I can't copyright. Alright, good. We never got anything decent in terms of medication, but we did manage to get some food items from the zombies. Happy with that. Now this is where we've got to be really careful. This is a dangerous spot to be in when we're going to be filling up water. So we're going to finish off that water, refill the bottle and then move on. There's a hatchet there. Just saw out of the corner of my eye, it's a zombie, that's fine. Real quick, come on Dom. It's a really dangerous spot here. I'm likely to get shot. People can hear the noise of the bottle cap going, so they'll know when you're accessing bottle. We are gonna take the hatchet just in case. It's only a small item, not as big as the splitting axe that we had earlier. Let's move. Now you could use the suppressed handgun for some of these zombies, and sometimes I will do that, but it will still alert zombies that are nearby. It's not perfectly silent, so it's not like in the movies where you can just literally shoot a zombie and no one else around it's going to hear. They will hear it. A fresh pair of trail shoes though, we're going to have them because they're black as well. Bit of colour. Okay, here we go. Some of our clothing's damaged. Down here. I'm going to repair our clothing. The multiple uses of a sewing kit. Gotta love that. Trousers as well. So the better equipment you've got on, the less likely when a zombie hits you that you're going to actually take the damage that we took earlier. You will take some damage, but just not as much. That was good timing, we just walked straight out to this zombie. Let's see if the dumbass comes in here. Here he comes, come on then. See ya. You can sometimes find little shortcuts like through holes in the walls like this. I'd recommend using them. It's a good way of kind of staying low profile. And I'd always recommend searching the train cars as well. I've found a couple of tents before in these, and finding a tent, being able to store up items somewhere hidden away is quite cool. This is that place I was talking about. There's a little old rundown military kind of like barracks here. Although these get like literally raided really quick. Well, not raided, but just scavenged really quick. Police jacket is not normally what you'd find in here, I don't think. So I think someone else has swapped their clothes. Bomber jacket. Bomber jacket's got 30 in it. Police jacket's got 30 in it. But to be honest with you, I don't know. The bomber jacket is green, which is a better colour to blend in with the environment, but it's a bit shiny. We'll take the bomber jacket. Let's move on. Look at that, I was blocking as well. She still managed to cut me. A surprise grade A BS right there, that is. I'll need to disinfect it again because we used it to sew our clothes up with. You have to disinfect it each use. In terms of the sewing kit, that is, if you want to treat your wounds. Okay, another tip actually that I'm going to mention to you guys is in terms of your jacket that you're wearing up here, this is actually a tip that is sometimes revealed in the game. If you put tinned items in your jacket and you get shot, sometimes the tins will actually get damaged and you take less damage yourself. So it's always a good idea to put items that are kind of like tinned in your jacket. Almost like this acts like a homemade body armor to a certain extent. Obviously not as good as ballistic armor, but there are other buildings that I could be exploring around here, but this is a bit of a hot spot. I'm going to move on. Wow, you see that? I just saw that hatchet sticking out. I thought that was someone crouched down with a hatchet in the hand ready to get me, but someone's dropped a hatchet and it's left it kind of suspended in midair. Just add me, that did. Alright, so we're in a position now where we can actually start pushing inland a little bit more. So once you've got some food and you've got some water, you've got a few weapons and some ammo, you can start pushing inland a little bit more, start trying to find some of those more bountiful areas. I wouldn't normally recommend beginners doing it until you're confident that you've got the equipment and the skills to be able to do it, because it does get quite challenging at times. Once you've been playing the game for a little while and you've got a few hours under your belt, you'll find it a little bit easier. But what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to continue on to find some military camps, but I'm going to leave the live guide there for now. As I said, I will be making this into a shortened down version at some point once I get a chance to edit it together, so do keep an eye out for that. But for those of you joined this evening, thank you very much. For those of you who have watched back as part of an archive stream, then thank you. And if you do have any questions, anything that I might have missed that you might need help with, don't forget to pop them in the comments, and thanks for watching.